Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the chaos at Newark Airport. Real ID is officially in effect after a 15-year delay. And the Golden Globes are going to hand out awards for Best Podcast. And that's coming up next. So here we're going to talk about, first, the chaos that's been happening at Newark Airport. I don't know if you noticed, but officials at Newark Airport have been saying, please don't fly out of Newark Airport or go to Newark Airport, which is crazy to think about because, first of all, Newark Airport is the only reason to even go to Newark. If you're from New Jersey, you understand there's no reason to ever step foot in Newark, Camden, or Trenton, unless you're really a fan of Grand Theft Auto Online and you want to LARP as a GTA player. So right now, apparently, for the last 3 days, hundreds of flights have been canceled at the fifth or third busiest airport in New Jersey, which is interesting because once upon a time, Newark Airport was the best of the three New York airports, even though Newark is in New Jersey, and LaGuardia was the worst airport in America that was not in a flyover state. But after spending $40 billion into LaGuardia, LaGuardia is now the best airport in America, and Newark is the worst airport. Now, the only thing they got fixed with LaGuardia is a train that actually connects to the real train. But overall, LaGuardia has been fantastic. So if you need to fly out of the one of the three airports, LaGuardia, but I understand a lot of international flights only come out of JFK, and JFK has its own hell of issues. But in reality, here's a lot of things. We are a year away from the World Cup. We're also 2 months away from these fake World Cup games that are supposed to start happening this summer in preparation for the World Cup next year, and we were promised a lot of things that were supposed to be ready by 2026. State-of-the-art trains in New York and New Jersey because the whole thing is that you don't need to fly from New York to Philly. We're supposed to be able to just take the NJ Transit or the Amtrak to Philly, to Boston, to DC, right? Because the Eagle Stadium, MetLife, Gillette, and I think currently where the Commanders play or where the Panthers play, and obviously Miami, they're all supposed to have World Cup games, and obviously MetLife is having the final World Cup game, though we don't have a dome, so God forbid it rains on the World Cup day. For those of you who don't know, Route 8, I can't wait till foreigners go to Route 80, because Route 80 is disgusting. But what do you expect from parts of New Jersey? But anyway, a lot of things in regards to Newark. Outside the flights, the fact aviation, the air traffic went just dark for 90 seconds, which is insane. And maybe this is a technology issue that we don't have modern technology, which is a thing. I don't know if you know this, but the subway system is still based on technology from the 1930s with manual switches. We have not modernized anything. We can't even modernize anything because of all these stupid regulations in regards to the environment and safety and blah, blah, blah. You understand this? The Empire State Building took 6 years to build back in the day. Today, I'm pretty sure it would take 30 years to build. We can't build anything. I blame all the people who think, the environment is so important. I don't know if you know this, but we're all here for a good time, not a long time. Stop worrying about your grandchildren, okay? You need to worry about yourself, okay? You are important, not your imaginary future children. And sorry, not sorry. Now, Secretary Duffy, a.k.a. Real World Star, says there's nothing to worry about. Newark is fine. Well, I don't know if you know this, but we don't have a lot of air traffic controllers, from Elon Musk firing people to people just quitting because they don't like the firing, rehiring, and all of this nonsense. And on top of that, today, Real ID was implemented. For those of you who don't know what Real ID is when they put a little bear or a star on your license and it says you are a real person. I am serious. That is legitimately what Real ID is. And to get a Real ID, at least in New Jersey, I have no idea what the process is in the other states because every state has their own process about the Real ID situation. And you can still have a normal license. I have a normal license and I have a passport. I have no reason to fly anywhere outside of going to Los Angeles if Bill Maher ever invites me on Real Time. I have no reason to fly anywhere. I take a boat everywhere because I only go to the Hamptons and Manhattan and South Jersey. I don't need to fly around. I don't have a Christopher Columbus fetish where I do this, where all these white girls go to discover themselves in Italy and all the other bullshit. or they're like, I want to see what like sad people look like, and they decide to go to Iowa and all the other nonsense. But in order to fly now, if you show a regular license as of today, you can't fly. Now, I had no idea so many people in America, because apparently only 1/3 of Americans have a passport, and only 20% of Americans across the country have real ID. So that means only about 35% of people can travel on a flight now, as of today. And that is fascinating, because like I'm one of the people who don't have a real ID, but I have a passport. My passport expires in 2030, thankfully, because I got a new passport right before the pandemic hit, like the picture and everything updated, and it looks great. And apparently you can renew your passport online, and you can like do your own photo. Like you can choose like an Instagram photo to be your passport photo now. I can't believe it took them 30 years to modernize the passport. But that is only for passports issued after 2018. Yeah, like your passport has to be fairly recent to be eligible to renew it online. Similar to renewing your license online. Because you can renew your normal license perfectly fine online. But if you want a real ID, which by the way doesn't even use the same documents to get your license, because it's not just like you bring the stuff you need to get your license. You have to bring proof you live in your address with like a bank statement and a utility bill and a bunch of other nonsense. And you have to do it only via appointment, which is chaotic. And I was looking at the thing. There are no appointments for months. I had no idea so many people were flying. Congratulations on that, because I did not know this was a thing. But congratulations to people who, are trying to get their fucking licenses today. It's been, fascinating. Shout out to all the girls who have no idea about this, who apparently are flying without passports. I don't understand this. If you fly regularly, I assume you have a passport. I didn't know this many people and Americans who fly don't have a passport. I genuinely did not know this. Whatever. Maybe this means less tourists now, because I really doubt like the disgusting fat overweight people from the flyover states who come to New York. I love the advertisements on Times Square. Fucking idiots. Swear to God. There's so many dumb people in this country. But it is what it is. On the next part, the Golden Globes have decided they are going to do an award for Best Podcast starting in the 2026 Golden Globes. This is interesting because, A, I hope to be a Golden Globe nominee now for Best Podcast. But realistically, I'm curious on how they do it, because the iHeartMedia does podcast awards right now, but no one trusts the iHeartMedia awards because, spoiler alert, only iHeart sponsored podcasting to win these things. Right, because you never see Rogan or Alex Cooper or Megyn Kelly like nominated. And it's interesting because according to THR, the best podcast will feature 6 nominees chosen among the 25 most listened to podcasts. Now, using the Spotify top 25 chart, right? Assuming Spotify is going to be the reason we do this because everyone listens through Spotify. Of the 25 like most listened to, right? 18 of them are right-leaning. Okay, so if you're somehow going to do this award, right? And because I really doubt the Golden Globes is going to invite Ben Shapiro. Maybe they have to do Rogan because you really can't ignore Rogan, right? Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz has 2 pods in the top 25, the Flagrant one and the one he does with Charlemagne. Alex Cooper for Call Her Daddy. Brett Cooper, who's like the right-wing version of Alex Cooper. She's like 23 and looks like Ben Shapiro. We have obviously Charlie Kirk. I don't like half of these people, but like you can't deny the data here. Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Lex Friedman, Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Amy Poehler, the Giggly Squad Girls, Bill Simmons, The Big Picture, The Town, Julia Louis-Dreyfus podcast. Jason Kelsey's wife's podcast. What is her name? The Kyle Kelsey Show. Then we obviously have the 92%er pod. What is the name of his podcast? Because I listen to it, but then like I just don't care. Oh, New Heights. Wow, I kept thinking it was 92 is what their fans are called, right? The Breakfast Club, Joe Budden. What else? Who else is on this list? I'm trying to think because like the list changes, and like of these people, right? They're gonna have to pick one right-leaning person, because if they just do it, we're like only Amy Poehler, the Giggly Girls, the Giggly Squad Girls, Alex Cooper, a Charlemagne are allowed, and none of the like right-leaning ones who do, you can say whatever you want about them, and they did decide the election. You can be mad at all about Aiden Ross and all these people, but they are the most listened to. So if people already don't believe in the award because you don't want the right-leaning people to be in, you're going to have a problem. Though I can't wait for what the 4-year consideration events look like for the podcast, because like as someone who's already in the entertainment industry, and a lot of these people are, 4-year consideration events are interesting, and you usually do like a podcast show interview for the 4-year consideration events. I'm really curious of what the podcasts are going to look like for your consideration, because like the Golden Globes, I don't know who the Golden Globe voters are. I know it's like only 533 people have a vote for this. I don't have a vote for the Golden Globes, but like foreigners listening to what like Theo Vaughn or Rogan or Alex Cooper is going to be fascinating, because I don't know how they're going to like do this, because this is going to be interesting to see people campaign for the award. I obviously want to be nominated and I want to win. I want a fucking trophy. Okay. I want to be nominated. I want to be nominated for best podcast. I don't think I'll get in for 2026. I do hope I get in for 2027 when it's like more established and, you know, whatever. I mean, I have no problem if Amy Poehler wins it. Whatever. But this has been another show.